What if someone, somewhere, is already praying for a love that sounds exactly like you, and they don't even know your name yet? Some prayers don't arrive with thunder. They arrive with stillness, with a quiet shift inside your chest you can't explain, with a longing that doesn't feel like loneliness, it feels like waiting. God doesn't always answer prayers with a voice. Sometimes he answers them with a person, and that person is already being shaped, already being prepared, already being moved, quietly, faithfully, in your direction. You may not see it yet, but your soul has already felt the tremor of what's coming. In this video, we will uncover 5 powerful signs that God is actively preparing someone to find their way to you. Signs hidden in your stillness, in your healing, in the prayers you've whispered at 2 in the morning when no one else was listening. Because when God is writing a love story, he doesn't begin at the meeting. He begins long before, and the signs are already speaking, if you're willing to listen. Sign 1. Your longing has changed its shape. There's a difference between loneliness and longing. Loneliness is restless. It grasps, it panics, it scrolls through old conversations looking for something to hold on to. But longing, divine longing, is different. It is patient. It is quiet. It doesn't feel like desperation. It feels like expectation. If you've noticed recently that your desire for love no longer comes with anxiety, if you've stopped chasing, stopped forcing, stopped rehearsing conversations with someone who isn't there yet, that shift is not emptiness. That is preparation. God doesn't send you the person until he's prepared your heart to receive them without destroying yourself in the process. When you stop needing love to survive and start trusting love to arrive, that is when heaven begins to move. The ache you feel isn't a wound, it's a signal, and signals mean something is on its way. Sign 2. Old patterns are quietly breaking. Look at yourself honestly for a moment. 6 months ago, 1 year ago, were you the same person you are now? Or have you noticed something shifting? The things that once triggered you no longer have the same grip. The kind of person you used to accept, you no longer find acceptable. The emotional habits you carried from old wounds, the people-pleasing, the shrinking, the tolerating what you deserve to leave are beginning to loosen. That is not random personal growth. That is God removing what cannot exist in the presence of what he's sending you. When a man or woman is being prepared to enter your life with divine intention, God doesn't just prepare them. He prepares you. He dismantles the version of you that would have settled. He rebuilds the version of you that knows the difference between love and performance. If your standards have risen without bitterness, if you've grown quieter, firmer, and more certain of what you deserve, you are not becoming difficult. You are becoming ready. Sign 3. You feel strangely at peace in your own company. This sign confuses people because they expect the period before divine love to feel urgent, restless, like something is missing. But often, God does something unexpected in this waiting season. He makes you fall in love with your own life first. If you've been finding genuine joy in your solitude, in your routines, in your silence, in the life you've built quietly for yourself, pay attention to that. Because God doesn't send a soulmate to someone who needs saving. He sends a soulmate to someone who has already learned to walk on their own. The peace you feel alone is not a sign that love isn't coming. It is the evidence that you are being made whole enough to receive it. When 2 people who are already whole find each other, the connection doesn't feel like relief. It feels like expansion, and you cannot expand into someone else until you are fully settled inside yourself. Your peace is not the absence of love. It is the preparation for it. Sign 4. You keep receiving confirmation you cannot explain. Have you noticed it? A song that plays at the exact moment you were thinking about love. A conversation that mirrors your deepest prayer. A verse, a word, a moment of stillness where something inside you whispered, "Not yet, but soon." God speaks in the language of quiet confirmation, not always in dramatic signs, not always in fire and thunder. Sometimes in the way light falls through a window on an ordinary morning. Sometimes in the way a stranger's story makes your chest tighten with recognition. Sometimes in that inexplicable knowing that settles over you when you pray. The kind that doesn't feel like wishful thinking. It feels like an answer. If those moments have been finding you more frequently, if the universe keeps gently redirecting your attention back to faith, to trust, to the idea that your love story is already written, don't dismiss that. Heaven is not silent. It is simply speaking in a frequency most people have forgotten how to hear. Sign 5. You stopped asking if it will happen and started trusting that it will. This is the most powerful sign of all, because it is the hardest one to reach. There is a moment, quiet, almost unremarkable, when a person stops wishing for divine love and starts trusting it. When they stop interrogating God's timing and start moving alongside it. When the prayer shifts from, "Please send someone," to, "I trust you already have." That shift is not passive. It is one of the most courageous spiritual acts a human being can make. If you have arrived at that place, if somewhere underneath the questions and the waiting and the nights of wondering, there is a deep, unshakable certainty that what is meant for you will not miss you, then you are not just waiting anymore. You are aligned. And when a soul is aligned with divine timing, it does not need to chase what is already written. It simply continues becoming, day by day, prayer by prayer, the person God always designed to stand beside someone equally whole. The one being prepared for you is not an accident. They are an answer. And answers always arrive at exactly the right time. Before you go, stay with this for just a moment. If even one of these signs felt like something more than coincidence, if your heart recognized something in these words, then this video was not an accident either. God speaks to us in layers, in timing, in the quiet details most people scroll past without noticing. Your love story is not behind schedule. Your prayers have not gone unanswered. The person being shaped for your life is being shaped right now, in their own healing, their own growth, their own quiet season of becoming. And when the time is right, not a day too early, not a moment too late, what is written for your soul will find its way home. If you believe God is preparing someone for you right now, comment, "I trust your timing," below. And if you're still finding your faith in the waiting, comment, "I believe." And let that be your prayer for today. Because what is meant for you will never miss you, and it is already on its way.